Let's see. Hey guys, welcome to Real Life Cooking. We have Ashley from Trade Street Jam here today.
Hello.
I'm gonna go ahead and start on my Instagram.
This is my first time doing a live. Hello.
Aren't you guys so excited?
This is awesome.
Of course, I didn't have my Instagram ready.
Somebody's volume. Can you turn it down?
Over there, maybe.
Can you guys turn your volume down?
Welcome to Real Life Cooking. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
We're just getting our technologies together. All right.
Let me get in my space.
Yeah, go ahead to your space. Hey, Instagram. Welcome to Cooking Live, back at its regular time. We have chef and owner of Trade Street Jam Company with us today. Hey, Facebook.
Hi.
Hey, guys.
Hey, everyone. Hello. Thank you for joining.
All our cameras are ready.
Yes,
we're like looking at ourselves with like 3 different cameras.
I know. This is a lot. It's great, though. This is great.
Welcome, you guys, to Real Life Cooking. As you guys know, we make a meal from start to finish in under an hour to show you that cooking is really easy. There's no TV magic, no TV gimmicks. And today we have a really special product that we're going to be highlighting. I don't know if anyone's cooking along, if you checked out the list or anything. We're going to be highlighting the Trade Street Jam Company's 2 different very special jams. And we have Ashley Bruce here to cook along with us. She's also a chef and the owner. She makes all these with her own hands.
I do make them with my own hands. So today we're featuring our blueberry lemon basil and our smoked yellow peach. A little bit about us: we make small batch, low sugar jams, all vegan, really clean, no pectin, no preservatives, and really just different than what you find on the shelf. Like, it's not like your Smuckers. So we're trying to convert everyone, right? Because that stuff is full of sugar. So we're just trying to convert everyone over. So we're gonna make a...
And I bet you guys didn't even know that jam was not vegan. How many of you guys didn't know that? I bet.
Some jams have weird stuff. Some jams have honey,
actually,
which is not vegan.
You know what? I live with Christopher, so we have that Smuckers in the fridge somewhere.
No.
Oh,
if
no,
you have Smuckers, can you go throw it away right now? Not doing this with you guys, okay?
Yeah, it has like all kinds of weird things in it.
I'm throwing that away before I leave here.
Chris might be fighting you.
That's okay. That's okay. I got hands too. Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so today on Real Life Cooking, we are going to be making a one-sheet pan meal.
Yeah, one-sheet pan meal. One, is that right?
Yeah, one-sheet pan. One pan meal.
We're doing a one-pan meal. It's all going to be made on one sheet pan.
Our oven is set at like 400 degrees. Yeah, so if you're cooking along, make sure to set your oven along. And let's go ahead and bring over, we want to get right into cooking, our Brussels sprouts, which we are going to rinse off in this bowl of water.
Shall I take any of these?
Yeah, these are my favorites.
All right.
This knife is kind of just for showing. So when you get Brussels sprouts in the store, you want to make sure that you're rinsing them off, of course. And when you're buying them, I'll give these to you to chop after I rinse them off. When you're buying them, you want to look for ones that the leaves are not coming off like so much. They're actually a member of the cabbage family. They're really good for you. Actually, Brussels sprouts kind of have a bad rap because if you boil them for too long, they actually can make your whole house smell like sulfur.
Yeah, that's not a good smell.
Yeah, but we're not grandmas and grandpas, so we're not boiling our vegetables.
No offense to any grandmas and grandpas that are watching.
I mean, if that's what you like, that's what you like. But you shouldn't like that. I actually had a client that ate all of his vegetables completely mushy. Yes, boiled and mushy. Which, also removes all the nutrients.
It does remove, exactly.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
So there's like no point in eating vegetables if you're boiling them for like 50 minutes. Also, I forgot to mention, if you have any questions, comments for me or Ashley, go ahead and drop them in the boxes below. Ashley has her live stream going as well, and we have her husband checking out the comments over there. So please shout us out. Let us know what you're thinking over there.
Chris has a comment.
Comment.
I'm going to say this is not a question, but he said, what was your client's name?
Oh, if I told you the client's name, I would have to kill you, so I can't tell you. I signed a non-disclosure agreement, and you know that.
Someone said, I never liked Brussels sprouts until Ashley made them. Best Brussels
Yes, come through. Yes. I'm glad I can convert somebody. Like, you know what? It's true that like a lot of things are like that, right? Where you feel like you don't really like it, but then you have it a different kind of way, and you like it. Like, so many people, when I'm like, try jam, they're like, I'm not a jam person. I'm like, you think you're not a jam person, but you never had it on chicken or in a cocktail. So, you got to try. You got to be open to at least trying it another way. One other thing I want to say real fast is the way I'm cutting these Brussels. So I'm cutting them in half and then cutting them in half again. So quartering them. It's important that when you're doing a one-pan meal that you kind of remember that everything's gonna cook in the same time, right? So like, for example, you don't want to put like a piece of chicken that would take 20 minutes with like, I don't know,
Brussels
something,
sprout
a Brussels sprout that might take 10 minutes
Yes.
or 15 minutes.
Everything
so,
should be equally
yeah.
sized when you're keeping in mind cooking all on one
Yeah.
sheet pan.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're going to want to use more than one sheet pan because everything cooks in
Then you can
different-
cook it. You can cook it separately if you want to do it that way.
You can, but this is nice and easy.
Yes.
And we have aluminum lined on our sheet pan right now. Yes, 1 second, we'll get to your question. We have our pan lined with aluminum because that's going to make for easy cleanup. Who wants to like be scrubbing a pan?
Yes.
Question.
So my fair Brady has she been wasting her time cutting the ends off the Brussels sprouts this whole time?
You know what? Listen, it's all about doing stuff easy, right? You can eat the ends. Same for like even carrots, like the tops, the stems. You can
It's
leave
edible.
a little bit. It's edible.
It's all
It was
edible.
meant for us to eat. That's where a lot of the nutrients
And
are.
fiber.
And the fiber,
Mhm.
yeah. So like, as long as you wash it, because obviously that's the part that sometimes like harbors a little bit of dirt. But if you wash it,
You're
eat
good
it.
to go,
yes. So
Even
yes,
the little,
you have been
even
wasting
the
your
little
time.
part in the garlic, people cut off that little end on the garlic.
Yeah.
No one's died from eating the end of the garlic like
That's
you are.
true.
You're-
You let people slice
Have you
the
ever
little
seen
end?
that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you can totally, it's fine. And it roasts up nice. Like, it's all good.
All right, next we are going to add in some potatoes, which I will have you
Nice.
slice. Now, potatoes are starchier. Obviously, they're a starch. So they actually take longer to cook than anything else that's going to be on this sheet tray. So that is why Ashley is slicing them so they will cook quickly at the same rate as our Brussels sprouts. Like she was explaining earlier, you would never want to put just a giant potato.
Look at that, how funny.
Because then it would
That's
be a
real.
raw potato.
That's real. You know, you definitely gotta keep everything kind of the same size. So these are what, like a 1/4 of an inch or something like that. Just want to make sure they're gonna cook in like maybe 20 minutes.
Yes, for sure. And notice her lovely chopping skills, chef chopping skills, rocking her knife back and forth. Look at how she holds the knife. You want to make sure you hold it on the end. You're not hacking
Yes.
or hurting anyone when you're chopping your vegetables.
This is thousands of dollars of chef training that you're seeing right here. You're getting it firsthand.
You are getting it firsthand, exactly.
All right.
So we have our Brussels sprouts. We're gonna put our potatoes. We also are gonna be adding salmon to this dish. And that will just cook right on top of all of our other ingredients. And then we are gonna be adding in our jam at the end, of course.
Yes.
Question.
Yes. What was your inspiration for starting your jam company?
So I've always just kind of dabbled in the food-sphere. And so I kind of just started doing it as a hobby. It was something I was doing, giving as gifts, like canning it in these nice little mason jars. And then I just got really good feedback. So I was like, hey, I should try selling this. And once it sold, I was like, I should make a business out of this. Why not, right? So that's kind of where it came from. But I get a lot of inspiration for my funky flavors from living in Brooklyn and living in New York. Like, I get inspiration from everything around me, all the culture. There's some really good food spots around here as well. So,
All right. We
Look at that.
so much salmon because we have so many people here today. But we're not going to cook it all on this pan at the same time because one thing also to keep in mind when you are making something on a sheet tray is you don't want to overcrowd it too much.
Yeah.
Because if you overcrowd your sheet tray, your vegetables and things are just going to be steaming together, which is not going to get that nice caramelization or color that you really want, which is where all the flavor is. So if you have ever tried roasting vegetables and it didn't turn out right, make sure you're using a pan like this, a sheet tray, not like a cake pan because that's also going to make moisture happen and not get that crispy, nice color that you want as well.
So we're gonna put.
Let's use a nice, pretty piece of salmon.
That's so nice. Oh, we have a question. And at the same time, should we cut this?
Yes.
Do you want to cut this?
Yeah,
like
let's
down
cut it
a
into
little
like
bit?
a few, maybe 2 pieces at
From
least.
Okay.
question from the audience from Melissa. She would love to know what kind of spread you can make to pair with lobster.
Spread?
Like what kind of jam
Yes.
with lobster?
Yeah, if you're gonna pair with lobster.
I think that that kiwi one that you guys have in a vinaigrette.
Look at you. So impressive. No, that might be good. That kiwi one is awesome. That might be a good one.
Because like the acidity from the kiwi.
Yes.
And the lobster vinaigrette, yeah.
With some butter.
Can we get a closer look at how you cut the potatoes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Moving the potatoes. So we just sliced our baby potatoes into rounds. Obviously, you could use real big potatoes, but baby potatoes are so much cuter, right?
Yeah, they're adorable.
Who doesn't want to eat baby?
You want
food?
this in 2 pieces, right down the middle?
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right.
So a couple notes about buying salmon. I'm sure you have heard the arguments between farm raised and wild salmon. Aquaculture is a new term for farm raised. So if you see aquaculture, it's not like some cool thing. It's actually farm raised salmon as well. So the reason why you might buy farm raised salmon is because obviously it's going to be way cheaper. It's going to be like this was $10 a pound as opposed to the wild salmon that was like $25 a pound. But there are a few health benefits that wild salmon has that farm raised salmon does not have. Question?
What is the piece you're cutting off the salmon and putting to the side?
I just cut like a little bit of kind of the fat and the end piece off. It's perfectly fine to eat. You guys were asking that earlier. So I just cut like a little bit of the end off.
It's actually, some people really like that part. It's the belly of the salmon and it crisps up really nice. If you like the fat of like steak and stuff, you really, that would be delicious, like underneath a broiler really quickly. Also, if you just like, not blanch it, simmered it and poached it and you just flaked it off, you can make a really good salmon salad out of that piece as well. But for presentation purposes, we're not going to use it now today. But back to farm raised versus store-bought salmon. So, or store-bought salmon, farm raised, it's all bought from the store unless you went fishing in Alaska. Farm raised versus wild salmon. So farm raised is actually going to have a lot more fat, and actually they both have the omega-3s, which are really good for you, but farm raised is going to have more of the saturated fat, which is not good for you. And the reason why is because farm raised salmon are fed like wheat and things of that nature, while the fish swimming in the sea are eating all these like nutrients from the sea. So if you're really worried about health and have a large wallet, I would definitely suggest going with wild salmon. Although there are some people that don't like wild salmon; they only like farm raised because of the fatty texture.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Because wild salmon also gets drier a lot faster. Was that you over there?
So we've made like a little bit of space here on the pan, so I kind of just scooched some of the vegetables out of the way here, so just so you can see what this looks like. That's about the most you would want to put.
Yeah,
on the pan,
I wouldn't
right?
put any.
Unless you guys had like a bigger, like, you know, at home sometimes we use these huge sheet pans, but if this is the typical size you're using, I wouldn't put more than like 3 on the pan.
Yeah, I wouldn't put more than that too. And what's nice about this is because this is farm raised salmon, it has a lot more fat. So the fat from the salmon is going to drip off into the vegetables and like marry together and get like super delicious. So all we're going to do now is just squeeze on some lemon and bring over our olive oil, our bootleg olive oil. Don't want to use your expensive olive oil here because we're putting it in a high heat oven, which is going to potentially burn your olive oil. Question?
When should you use your expensive olive oil?
If you're making like a vinaigrette or something that is not going to be heated up.
Or if you're like eating like a meat and cheese and bread platter and you're like dipping the bread in the olive oil.
When the flavor really matters of the olive oil.
So I'm going to put the lemon slices right onto the pan, like kind of dig them into the veggies. It's just going to add like another layer of flavor. So when you're cooking, you always want to do that, right? Is like add these different levels and layers of flavor.
And roasted lemons are actually kind of good. If you like acidic, the charness they get on the lemon.
I literally did something like this the other day, like little Low Country boils in foil packets.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
The lemon. But my husband like ate a lemon and he was like, "Oh my god!" I ate a lemon. Like,
grilled lemons are also really good too.
Grilled lemons are good.
Like fish.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we are not going to be like the lady that won $10 million on Oprah, and we're going to season this food with salt and pepper. We're going to add salt and pepper to this because, you know, we like seasoned food here. So this is just kosher salt. Kosher salt is my personal favorite choice to use when I'm cooking. It has nice big flakes, which you think would make it saltier, but actually the bigger the flake, the less salty your salt is actually going to be. So you can season very generously with this. And then we're going to also just drizzle with our olive oil. Just over like that. And this olive oil is going to help get some of that colorization, caramelization. So you want to be pretty generous with that as well. If you're just joining us, welcome to Real Life Cooking. We have Ashley Roos here, owner and chef of Trade Street Jam Company. And we are making a 1-sheet meal. This is like probably the easiest thing that you have ever seen on Real Life Cooking. So definitely means you can make it. Make it, post it, tag us, let us know how it went. Clearly we just have Brussels sprouts, baby potatoes, lemon slices, our salmon on there. We seasoned it heavily with salt and pepper because that's really our only flavor. And this is a great meal because it's so simple, but everything kind of stands on its own.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So now for the good stuff, right? We're gonna add a little bit of this blueberry lemon basil jam. So the great thing is because we put such little amount of sugar in there, you're not gonna get a ton of sweetness, but you will get a little bit when it roasts in the oven. I got one right here.
Oh, I want to taste it.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. That's the hugest spoon ever too. Like I didn't know she was tasting. Like I was like, I have a spoon. But you see, it's very clean. It's very fruit forward. And so it will pair perfectly with the salmon. Question?
Very
No
good.
comment. So Mrs. Bundy Davis is cooking along.
Oh, awesome. Does she have the
thank you.
jam?
We'll find out.
Are you, I know Amber just went ice fishing. Are you using the fish that you caught in your ice hole when you went ice fishing? So we're just going to spoon this on top. And that's what's so great about these jams in particular is because of the low sugar content, when we put it in the hot oven, it's not going to burn.
Exactly.
And they have so much flavor. The basil really comes through, so that's going to pair really nice with the fish. Question.
Where can you purchase the jam?
So in store, if you are in the New York area, you can get it at Foragers in Dumbo or in Manhattan in Chelsea. And if you're buying online, which is super easy, you can get it through our website or you can get it on Amazon. So a few different ways to grab the jam. Amazon, you'll have it in like 2 days max. So we're gonna put just, okay, question.
Next question from History Speaks. How often do these type of cookings happen?
I do real life cooking twice a month now, typically on Sundays at 7 p.m. But sometimes for holidays, like we just did a Valentine's Day episode on Wednesday the 13th. And they're also all available online, like on YouTube and on my website. They're posted up. So if you want to cook along later, like maybe you didn't have all the ingredients now,
exactly.
you can get the ingredients and just watch the video, and you'll have our pretty faces guiding you along.
Aren't you lucky? Aren't you lucky?
Question.
So comment. So Mrs. Bundy Davis was not able to get it, but she's going to get it soon, especially the kiwi one.
Awesome.
Yes, perfect.
So I'm just going to show everyone
Yes.
up close what our, let's not drop it on the floor, Kathleen, what our salmon looks like before going in the oven. Look at, isn't it beautiful, you guys? So we're just going to put it in the oven. Like I said, the oven is at about, well, my oven is Trixie. This is a good time to talk about oven thermometers. Oven thermometer, if your oven is Trixie, is a great thing to have because you just literally put it in your oven and it will tell you.
What word is this?
Thermometer?
What's
Oven
Trixie.
Oh, Trixie.
I'm sorry, what does that mean?
Like, you know, like trick, like a little
Like play
trickster.
games?
Yeah, the
Okay.
oven was playing games with
Okay,
me.
I'm gonna use that. I've never heard that.
So yeah, so I never know what temperature my oven is actually at, but because we are genius chefs, we're just gonna know that it's done when it's done. We're actually probably 8 to 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. As long as we keep talking. We're gonna check it in about 10
Poke and
minutes.
prod at it. And you
Exactly.
guys can check your stuff like that too. Like we use thermometers, but you'll also get a feel for like the way potatoes feel when they're done. You can stick a fork in a potato. Meat, you know, should not be so soft and kind of give you like a little bit of bounce back.
It'll give you like a give.
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
Chefleen.
exactly. So
Salmon is also something you can temp. I always am talking about my thermometer and how I love this thermopen. If you're really like don't know how to feel, you can get a thermometer and you're looking for about 125 for a medium rare salmon.
Yep.
If you're cooking wild salmon, you're looking for 120 though.
ah,
Because wild salmon doesn't have all that fat, like I
That's
said,
right,
so
that's
it
right.
gets tighter and question.
Yes, question. So Mrs. Bundy Davis was not able to see how you slice the lemon. So can you go over how you slice the lemon? And did you put it inside of the dish after you sliced it?
So I can't slice this lemon now because we're gonna use it for our hot toddy, right?
we are. Gonna use that. We
But
are.
it honestly doesn't matter so much how you slice the lemon. I think, how did you cut it in half?
I
And-
can, you know what? I can cut it because
Okay.
it doesn't matter. It's fine. We can do that. So I literally just cut off the ends, and then I cut it down the middle, like this. So you kind of have two, and then I literally just cut slices like this, but pretty thick. So maybe only 5 slices per side. So just in some like wedges like this.
And then she squeezed the juice over
Yeah.
the salmon. And this, I forgot to
Squeeze
mention,
it.
this is actually Ashley's recipe that she created with her jam. She has a lot of awesome recipes on her website, which is Trade Treat Jam.
TradeTreatJamco.com.
Yeah.
And then you put it in the dish.
And then I
after you
put them right onto the sheet
Yeah,
pan.
just to bake along with it.
Yeah, to her point that, you know, they give a good flavor. They're kind of going to like marry together. So just throw them right in there. If you want to pull them off at the end, you can. But it's just, you know, it's another level of flavor.
Yes, exactly. So now we're gonna get to our favorite part of the meal, the cocktail.
The only part that really matters.
The only part after a long weekend.
You guys know how I roll. You know how.
I was telling Chris that your favorite word is cocktail, and I love the way that you say the word. You're like, yeah, we're gonna make some cocktails. I'm like,
I probably say it so pretentious. Like my husband would say that. He's like, really? You want a cocktail? And I always want like a craft cocktail.
right.
And he's
There's
like,
no point in drinking
yeah,
if
like
you're-
he like looks up places before we go. He's like, do they have like craft cocktails? Because she's not gonna want it.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
I feel like we're too old to just be drinking like vodka soda.
Right? Didn't we all have our years where we just drank vodka soda or like something?
Like
that
last
had,
night, I was drinking Moscow mules because I'm very fancy.
That is fancy.
I don't just drink vodka
That is
soda
fancy.
anymore, and expensive. So we're gonna make a more inexpensive drink at our own house. Actually, we're gonna make a batch of these because we have a lot of people here. And this again is probably one of the easiest recipes you'll ever see on Real Life Cooking. We're gonna be making a hot toddy with her smoked peach jam,
Yes.
which I also haven't tasted, so I gotta get on this one.
Do
You want to talk a little bit about how you came up with the idea for this one?
I do, and let's get the tea like
Oh, yeah.
going while we're doing this. So we're gonna make a hot toddy, perfect for like the winter, perfect drink for when it's cold outside to warm you up. So we're gonna add some smoked peach jam to it. So our smoked peach jam is really cool, really special. There's only 3 ingredients: peaches, lemon juice, and sugar. And people always taste it and they're so shocked at that. But we slow smoke the peaches over apple wood chips. So it really gives it this like grilling kind of smoky, summery flavor. It's one of the most popular jams that we have. It's really, really awesome. I gotta say, honestly, it's one of my favorites, and it is my husband's #1 favorite jam that we have. So it's really good in a toddy because it's gonna add a little bit of sweetness. So think of like a peach tea, but then it's also gonna add some smokiness. No, which pairs perfectly with like whiskey or bourbon. So that's what we're gonna do. It does. It's really good mixed into barbecue sauce. It's good put over like pork or chicken.
Like a pulled pork, you know, it'd be good. A pulled pork taco with that on top and some cilantro.
Yes. Yes.
Except for
We
those
put
people
it-
that don't like cilantro, but that would be so
No,
good
we put it
together.
on tacos. I mean, we use it as a condiment, which is the cool thing about it. Like we'll order tacos and put this on top of it.
Yeah.
So you can really
So you
do
carry around
anything.
jam in your purse, like when
People
you're
ask me
out.
that all the time. They're like, "Do you have jam in your bag?" Now that we have the small ones, I might start carrying jam. Is that weird?
Just in case the restaurant's not good enough, you
I
gotta put your own
know.
layers of
I
flavor
know.
on there.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. So, did you like it?
It's so good, yeah. So,
Mm.
and it has like that nice smokiness that'll
It
pair really
does.
well with the bourbon or
It
whiskey or
does.
whatever you're choosing to put in your hot toddy. So hot toddies are very, very simple. It's just a mixture of tea, some sort of sweetener, and whiskey or bourbon or cognac, whatever you want. They actually were invented in India, and of course the British stole them and made them their own, and that's how they became a little popular. And in the 19th century, they actually were the biggest thing to be, like, if you had a cold, they would recommend you to have a hot toddy.
Yeah,
Like, it was
absolutely.
medicine. So that's why people nowadays are like, oh, you're sick, have a hot toddy.
I'm getting schooled over here.
So,
Yeah, we drink them when we're sick all the time too, and they honestly it helps you sleep. I feel like it's like an old-fashioned thing. Like my mom would be like, "You need a hot toddy," and I was like 15. She's like, puts a slasher. Sorry, mom, but you know, I'm sure every parent has done this. But you just put a little bit, but it really like it helps you sleep. The lemon is good for you, so it's just a really like bomb combo.
I actually made a hot toddy on one of my videos with ginger as well. So I
Yes,
like grated some
absolutely.
ginger inside of there too.
Which has
Which
other
is even,
health
yeah,
benefits, so it's even better.
It is really medicine.
Yep,
We're not actually
not making it
drinking
up.
So a good
Some
note
honey.
about when you're steeping tea, you can like on your tea bag it'll say like 1 to 2 minutes. The longer you steep it, the more bitter it will be. So if you really enjoy like a dark tea flavor, you can steep it for as long as you want. But most people, especially like really people that drink tea a lot, they normally take their tea bag after like 1 minute because
Yeah.
it's like too dark a flavor.
Yeah.
And you can use any kind of tea here as well. Like, I think a chai would be really good. This is just regular, like, black tea. But a chai would be really nice here.
So I'm gonna pull these out.
And then we're going to measure our alcohol.
Who does that? So I've squeezed some lemon in here. You don't have to worry so much about measuring a lot of things. Alcohol, yes, you always can measure a shot just so you know how strong it's gonna be. But we just put a couple tea bags. I threw just a couple lemons, squeezed them in there. You can kind of adjust the flavor as you want. And now we're gonna add a little bit of honey. So we'll probably add For this amount, maybe 2 tablespoons.
Yeah. Literally, it's like completely up to your own taste and flavors.
Absolutely.
So just play around with it. If you like things sweeter, add more honey. If you like things less sweet, don't add any honey. Question
from Mrs. Bunny Davis. So she missed the part about when you put the blueberry jam on the salmon. So when do you do that? And also, if she wanted to add fresh blueberries, is that a good idea? If so, when should she add them?
Yeah, so we added the jam right before we put the salmon in the oven. So you just put it right on top and put it right in the oven. If you want to add fresh blueberries, I think that's an awesome idea. You could even put the jam like in a little bowl, mix the blueberries so they get like some juice on there, and then do that. You could sprinkle them on top. I think it's great. They're gonna burst a little bit in the oven, so I think you're gonna get like, you know,
best of both worlds.
Yeah.
I need to have Ashley here all the time. I could just, bye guys. Ashley show. Yeah, I would, if you wanted to mix the fresh blueberries together, I might mix them together in a bowl before you put it on, just so it's like more coherent together as well.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's a great idea. That will add a nice pop. Question?
And how much jam did you put on the salmon?
On the salmon, so you can do about a heavy tablespoon per fillet of salmon.
Just to like coat it.
Yeah, just to like lightly coat it. So this is some of the magic we're adding in here, right?
Yeah. We're adding that smoky flavor with our peach jam. So it's kind of like a play on like a sweet peach tea in a sense.
It is, yeah. And then, so we just added a few tablespoons. I did about 3. If you're making this like per mug, like for yourself, just 1 tablespoon is plenty.
Yeah. And that's the other thing I would say. Depending on how many hot toddies you're making, I would use like 1 tea bag per person, because if you're thinking about in 1 cup,
exactly,
that's how much.
Exactly. And you don't have to, like, if you want to scale it up and make it for a few people, you can make it in a batch. If you want to like scale it down and just make 1 for yourself, you can make it right into a mug, like she said, 1 tea bag, and then just kind of, you know, do your own thing in here.
So this is a double shot. So I added 1 of these, but I guess I should taste it and see if we want to add more. We're running out of spoons here.
Let's see.
Delicious. It tastes like winter. Winter is coming. Winter is here. Do you guys watch
What do you
Game of
think?
Thrones?
What should we? I don't. I heard it's amazing.
Me either. But I just know winter is coming.
I thought you were gonna tell me like how great it was. Okay. Well, I'm sure it's good.
People tell me it's a cool show. I would add a little bit more honey. Yes.
Yeah, me too. I think so too.
I err on the side of sweet.
Yeah. Let's do more honey.
Also, a note about honey. If you've ever seen really expensive like raw honey in the store, same concept as your olive oil. You don't want to use that in like a hot toddy necessarily, because it's kind of ruining all the like probiotics and things that they say raw honey has. So just regular honey is perfectly fine here. Raw honey is really expensive. Question.
We have a comment from the audience. I think it's your mother, Ashley. She said, "Why didn't you put more bourbon?"
Is that for real? Did my mom say that?
Well, we gotta make Mama happy. So,
Oh, mother, do you see where I get it from? Okay. So we added some bourbon to make some people happy.
Do you have a certain kind of bourbon that you like better than others?
Well, I actually really like Makers. I think
really?
it's a very like easy to drink bourbon. Yeah, it's just like a kind of your middle of the road, but it's nicer. You know, it's good and it's not too expensive. And it blends with. Is this nice now?
Yeah.
Is this good?
Yeah. This tea is kind of bitter. No wonder you had to put so much sugar in here, Chris.
And so I put a couple cinnamon sticks. So usually when you're serving this, you'll put the sticks like right in the glass, and you can kind of serve it to your guests that way.
Already?
I put a couple in here just so they could like steep.
Oh, this is funny.
So that I know this is like, and in the mason jar, like I just want to walk around and like carry this. It's perfect.
It's like the perfect temperature too right now.
It is. I love the mason jar idea. So yeah, definitely.
We're gonna separate this though into our glasses so we can drink along. Oops, don't want to waste any of that.
This is so nice. Like it's so like warm. This is perfect for. I think it's supposed to snow tomorrow, so this is like perfect.
Question.
Are there different temperatures you can prepare salmon?
Yes, there are. So salmon is just kind of like steak, with raw being at like 100 degrees, like sushi almost. 125 is the ideal temperature that you're looking for farm raised salmon. But the FDA actually recommends like 145 for salmon, which is completely overcooked. Don't eat your salmon like that. Although salmon is, because of all the fat inside of it, it's a really good starter fish to learn how to cook.
Yeah.
Because you almost can't mess it up unless you just forget about it in the oven.
That's true.
Because all the fat keeps it nice and moist. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and take this out and check it.
Check this and see like what's going on.
Yeah.
Here, let me step out of the way.
We're gonna take this out. Oh, our salmon looks like it's cooking. So another visual, if you don't have a thermometer, visual cues of how your salmon is cooking, it's gonna turn like more opaque in color. That bright pinkness is gonna be gone. Also on the sides, I know you can't see this, I'm sorry, but there's like gonna be little droplets of kind of like the fat seeping out. Yep. And it's gonna be more firm. Like this is actually probably how I would like to eat it. I know everyone does not like to eat their fish super less than medium. So I'm going to temp it from the side, which we learned. Yeah, this is about 120 right now. So it's probably like medium rare. Also, we need to check our other things to make sure that they're cooking. These Brussels sprouts, they're getting nice and crispy on the edges. Our potatoes still need a little bit more time. Question.
Yeah, a little bit more time.
My favorite Brady, did you place the salmon directly on the pan or on top of the veggies?
I put it directly on the pan. I just want to make sure everything cooks really evenly. The best way to do that is to put everything in one layer. So if you're overcrowding your pan, like Kathleen was talking about, you're not going to get like an even cook. You can put them on top, you know, it'll just add more flavor. But for us, we just put it right on there. We just want like a nice, even roast on everything.
Where's my drink? Gotta keep sipping. Question? Oh, yes. I want to talk about the 5 types of, did you know that there's 5 types of Alaskan salmon? So I worked on a cruise ship and I did a show about salmon. And so there's 5 different types and you can remember them by your hand.
Okay.
So you have your chum salmon, which rhymes with thumb.
Okay.
You have your sockeye salmon because if you make a fist, you sock someone in the eye.
Okay.
You have your king salmon because this is how a dictator would feel about his people.
Okay.
You have your
This is great. I'm so entertained.
You have your ring finger, which will be your silver ring finger, also known as your coho salmon, which is a very common variety that you'll find around. And your pinky finger is for pink salmon, which is normally canned because it's smaller and not as like delicious. Out of those 5 varieties, king salmon is going to be the best one that you can possibly get. Okay. It's also like $50 a pound at Cinderella and it's only in season for a certain amount of time because obviously people can only fish in Alaska in the summer because it's freezing cold.
Someone asked, what is the finger for king salmon again?
Just one. Ha Just kidding.
You guys are terrible.
So farm raised salmon, they actually raise it to be the most like king salmon because like the fattiness that king salmon has, but wild salmon, it's definitely, if you see king salmon, definitely worth picking up. It's so good. It's kind of the only salmon that I actually really enjoy. Salmon bougie.
You're a salmon snob.
I'm kind of a
you're a salmon snob. I love it though. I love it.
Welcome to Real Life Cooking. If you're just joining us, we have our 1 sheet meal in the oven. This drink. Thanks, Mom, for the extra alcohol in here.
Thanks, Mom. She does it to us all the time. We're used to this.
We have our salmon, our Brussels sprouts, our baby potatoes in the oven. We have Ashley Ruse here, owner of Trade Street Jam Company and chef extraordinaire. Question?
Comment. So king salmon puts up a great fight during fishing.
Yes, king salmon does. I've never actually fished for salmon, but yeah, I'm going to agree with that.
I was like waiting for this story. I'm like,
I've never
done anything.
I've been deep sea fishing. That's kind of fun. We went for Father's Day and my sister.
That sounds awesome.
But my sister got really seasick, so that's all I remembered. But I caught 2 snappers. I was excited. My dad's really into fishing. And a lot of people on the cruise ship, that would be like their day excursion to go out and go fishing. And if you go to Alaska and go fishing, they'll actually pack up all your salmon to bring home for you. They'll freeze it and send it back to you.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
Check that off the list.
Yes.
If you have any questions for us, go ahead and drop them below in the comments. We're waiting for our salmon to cook and enjoying our cocktails.
Yes, yes. This is like the ultimate warm cocktail.
I do have to ask, so Ashley's company was just recently featured on this show on Vice Network called The Hustle.
Correct.
So I have to ask, how was that experience filming
It was awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome. So Vice basically followed us around for about a week, and just kind of got like some insight into me and my husband and our everyday lives, and the business. And I think the real cool thing about it is that we filmed this, it must have been February or March of 2018. So having it come out now was just so timely, because I can watch it and say, wow, look at the progress I've made. And I feel like for a small business entrepreneur, like, sometimes you don't really celebrate the small wins. Sometimes you don't
like
really.
On to the next
yeah,
one.
It's
like, gotta keep going.
Like, you're right on to the next thing, and you don't realize the growth that's come about. Question.
How has the business been doing since the show?
It's been doing well. Again, that's exactly what I was saying. Is that, like, I'm surprised at some of the progress that we've made. But one of the big things is that when you guys saw this show, if you've watched it, is that we were producing the jams ourselves. In a kitchen, and it was a lot of work, and we were producing about 150 jars at a time, and I was getting people to kind of help out, and it was a lot. It was like sweat, blood, and tears in the jam, like not really in it, but like, you know what I'm saying. But so now we have a manufacturer, so they produce the jams for us, and they produce by the thousands.
So you just have to do everything else still.
I still have to do everything else. But it's really helpful. It really is. I mean, now I can just, and if you guys watch the show, one of the things that John Henry said was just about spending more time on the business and not in the business.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was the best example of it. We were spending so many hours in the business, like actually making it. Like, now by the time I need to go sell it, I'm done. Like, I'm tired. So now I can get it produced, and now I'm like on my way to go try to take it to stores and influencers and, everyone.
So what is like your goal? Like, where is, like, if you get in this store, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I've made it. Or is it a different goal?
I think there's a lot of big goals going on there.
Go ahead and throw it out there. Put it out there. Don't be scared.
If I will be excited to get into, when I get into like a Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, or Dean and DeLuca, just because these are stores that I love, and I feel like they really say something about who they are and what they sell, and I feel like I really fit into that, so that would be really awesome. But I don't know, I have these like big goals. Like, I want to be like Martha Stewart, or like the Oprah of food and jam. I want to have a cookbook and a show.
Definitely cookbook. You have really great recipes on your site. You guys check those out.
Yeah, definitely. So just trying to kind of do everything, a little bit of everything.
Exactly how I feel. I know the struggle very well. So how do you feel about like women, Black women in particular, in food media? Do you feel like there's enough of us? Do you feel like
there's never
that's a trick
enough?
question?
I was like, I'm like, what? No, like, we really have to just be out there, right? Like, we have to be out there and put our best foot forward and not be afraid, and just keep pushing, like,
and pushing our own unique products and stories. Not like these created stories for us. Like,
absolutely.
We're not all just making Southern food. We're
Well,
all from different places.
Yeah, I think that's one cool thing is, like, when I come through with jam, sometimes people are like, oh, like, you sell jam? Like, okay. Like, they look at me, I don't look like I would sell jam. I don't know what that means, but do you know what I mean? Like, I want us to have unique, different things, and I feel like that's how other cultures are, right? They do a little bit of everything, and so do we. Yeah. So, but we just have to like show
keep
that
pushing
more.
It
yeah,
out
we have
there.
to keep pushing it.
And you guys have to keep supporting us, like buying jam, watching the show, learning how to cook. And we're teaching you life skills. Like, who doesn't want to know how to cook? Obviously, you need to know how to cook.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and check on our salmon. I think it might be done now. My little miniature oven. Yeah, it's starting to smell amazing. So again, see, now it's nice and firm. It's not as bouncy as it was before, like a trampoline. And I'm gonna just temp it for good measure. Remember, we learned from Christopher on Valentine's Day, we temp from the side, not straight up and down. This is at 135, so it's like probably medium well or so. And now all we have to do, actually, we should probably check these potatoes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's check the potatoes.
So I am constantly tasting whenever I'm cooking. So I encourage you to do the same, because you don't want to get to the end and be like, oh, I forgot to completely do something. Super hot. Good. Time to play it, because I'm hungry.
Okay.
and the extra bourbon is getting to me. That's it on my stomach. All right.
Jeez, Mom.
So this meal is obviously great because look, it's just on one plate. You could bring this to your table and sit down in front of your family and be
I'm
like,
all about that. I know that's beautiful, right? You just put it on the table and kind of serve it like that.
yeah, I think this is a great meal too if you're feeding a lot of people.
Do you know what we need? We need fresh basil.
Oh,
We need a little basil. So I'm gonna like chiffonade, like, you know, slice.
I'm gonna, let's grab this water because we need to clean our basil. Basil is one of the sandiest things in the whole, actually I'll switch with you. Do you want to chiffonade?
Yeah.
So the easiest way to clean basil or any greens is really to just get a big giant bowl of water and just drop it in there and kind of shake it around a little bit.
Let all that sand
Yeah,
just
all
like
the
fall
sand
to
will
the
fall
bottom.
at the bottom. Sometimes when I'm doing like cooking at people's houses or doing my real job, I'll just wash all my greens at once and just leave them be for like 10 minutes and then come back to them.
Yep.
And then that's how you'll know that it is very clean. So I'll just give you a couple big leaves here.
So you guys can cut this however, like you can rough chop it. One thing to keep in mind with basil is that like the more times you run your knife through it, you're gonna kind of bruise it. So that's when you'll start to see it get like black or dark brown. Still totally fine, but if you want that like bright green color,
Beautiful presentation.
yeah, then you're gonna want to not run your knife through it so many times. So for anybody who doesn't know what chiffonade is, this is like a quick, easy thing that you can do at home. So I just have 3 leaves here. I'm literally gonna stack them right on top of each other, and then I'm gonna roll them. So I just wanna like roll them up, almost like a cinnamon roll or something like that.
Or what people do in California.
I wasn't gonna say that, but the way I'm like, and it's green. But okay, so you're just gonna like roll it around. It doesn't have to be perfect, but see now I have like a little bit of a roll
like a little
going.
cigar.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna cut through.
So
just like
chiffonade
this.
means little ribbons in French.
Exactly.
Fancy word to impress your friends.
And the reason it means that is because like when you're done, you'll get kind of this like ribbon effect going. So it makes a really nice presentation, and then you don't get a lot of bruising on the basil.
So just go ahead and put this. I think I'm gonna go with your idea of just serving it like this.
I love
Every
it.
man for themselves.
I love it. And then when you do it this way too, like have you ever served something and like not everybody wants a whole piece of chicken, like a whole chicken breast, or something like that. So what I like about this is that like someone could come and kind of take half of that.
True.
I think that's
and it's
really
less waste
convenient.
because
Exactly.
then if you give someone a whole fish,
Exactly.
I hate when I give people whole food and I'm like,
And then it's like half
and I'm
of
like
it.
I
and
kind of
you're
want to eat
like,
this, but not really.
But it's
'cause you guys
weird.
ate it.
Right. So that's one like really beneficial thing to that.
Exactly.
That looks awesome.
Question.
Can you make the same dish with different types of fish?
Yes. I would use a fish that's thick if you're roasting something in the oven. Nothing like a sole or a flounder that's really thin.
Maybe like a nice piece of cod or
Cod
something.
or
would
Chilean
go.
sea bass would be
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Halibut
She's
would be
fancy
good.
over here. I don't know. Y'all eat sea bass at home. I'm trying to come to your house. But yes, it would be fire.
Yeah, and feel free to play around with different jams.
Yes,
like
yes.
The lighter, whiter fish would probably hold up well with like one of the more acidic.
Yeah.
Or even the smoked peach.
Well, the
might
peach would be perfect.
Yes.
I actually have a friend who puts the peach on salmon all the time, and that's her thing. But yeah, on like a white fish, a flaky fish, peach would be perfect. The kiwi that you were mentioning, I mean, you can really have fun with them.
Yeah.
That's kind of the fun part, the exploratory, experimental
And you
part.
guys saw how easy this was. It took us like 10 minutes to put it together, threw it in the oven, had time to make cocktails, had time to chat about life.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you guys for joining us on Real Life Cooking. Thank you, Ashley, for coming
My
all the way
pleasure.
from Brooklyn to Harlem.
If y'all know, it's far.
That's a journey on a Sunday night. Make sure to support her jams. Pick them up at Forgers in New York City, Amazon, online. Check out her website.
Yep, TradeStreetJamCo.com. Follow us Instagram at TradeStreetJamCo. Get a little bit about me, my life, my jam.
Yep. Thank you guys so much. See you guys in March when I'll be back with a 5-ingredient or meal. 5-ingredient or less meal. Because you guys say I put too many ingredients on here.
I'll be there.
See you guys.